A very good evening, our dear listener. Reporting live from the Explorer Studios is Malaika Kayesu. In our headlines, European Union ambassador commends Uganda's peace efforts in the region. Security forces arrest 102 suspected robbers at the Northern Bypass, and ruling party in South Africa expels Secretary General. Here's the news in details. The European Union ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Jan Sadek, has lauded Uganda's commitment towards peace, security, and stability in the region. This was during a meeting with the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, Honorable Vincent Wamulanga Kisempija. Mr. Sadek had led the European Union delegation in Uganda as they met with Honorable Sempija and the CDF General Wilson Mbadi at the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Buya, where they discussed the engagements of UPDF in the region. A group of 56 police trainers from the 3 police training schools, Cavalier, Olilim, and Ikafe, have concluded a one-day training workshop on capacity building of trainers under the gender policy in the Uganda Police Force. The objective of the workshop was to promote the establishment of a gender-sensitive and a gender-responsive force, ensuring that all police personnel are equipped to fulfill their duties at the police training schools. The workshop, which took place today, was organized by the Department of Women Affairs at the Forensics Headquarters in Naguru. During the workshop, Superintendent of Police Dorina Major, the Deputy Commandant of Women Affairs, emphasized the importance of gender equality and equity among men and women of all levels of deployment within the police force. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Thomas Tayebwa, has launched the Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Labour, Decent Employment and Productivity, directing the government to start presenting to Parliament studies on tax revisions they want to make for the subsequent financial years. Tayebwa also challenged the leaders of the new parliamentary forum on the need of bringing employers on board if the rights of the employees are to be respected in the country. The permanent secretary in the office of the president, Haji Yunus Kakande, has instructed RDCs to spearhead the fight against poverty in Busoga sub-region. This was during the closure of a 2-day capacity building training for RDCs in the region, during which Kakande noted that effective monitoring of government programs and projects will help eradicate the persistent poverty in the region. A team of joint security forces has arrested 102 suspected robbers at the Northern Bypass and Clock Tower in Kampala. The operations came at a time when thugs had resumed their attacks on pedestrians, passengers, motorcycles, including throwing logs at drivers. The security team, commanded by the Old Kampala Division Police Commander DPC Tyson Rutambika, conducted operations in areas of Kawala and Namugongo. At least 24 suspects were arrested in these operations. CPS, led by DPCSP Martin Okoya, conducted the operations at Clock Tower, and 32 suspects have been arrested. Police says these suspects' criminal activities have been monitored with CCTVs. Relatively, police in Bududa has arrested a teacher attached to Bulucheke Secondary School and a former Bududa District Human Resource Officer over illegal access to the payroll. The teacher was allegedly added to the payroll as a science teacher in 2020 without following due diligence and being appointed by the Education Service Commission. The Director of Public Prosecution has dropped all charges against Rwenzururu King Charles Wesley Mumbere, as well as 217 of his subjects, owing to the fact that the accused appealed for amnesty, which has been granted. Charges have, however, been maintained against Johnson Thembo, the former Rwenzururu Prime Minister, and one other. They are the only defendants that did not apply for amnesty. The Msinga of Rwenzururu, Charles Wesley Mumbere, will now be able to return to his palace in Kasese 7 years after battling with treason charges that were slapped on him following the infamous Kasese Kingdom raid, in which over 100 lives were lost. Uganda's Special Olympics team has been flagged off to Germany for the Special Olympics World Game due on the 17th of this month. The team of 22 players will compete in 4 disciplines, including athletics, swimming, tennis, and football. The National Council for Sports facilitated the team with all their tickets. On arrival, the host city has organized programs for all children with special needs before the Games. And in our last story, South Africa's governing African National Congress, ANC, has expelled its former Secretary General, Ike Magashule, a week after a party disciplinary committee found him guilty of misconduct. He was accused of having tried to suspend President Cyril Ramaphosa as party leader. Mr. Magashule was given 7 days to respond, but in a statement, ANC said he did not send any representations to that effect. At one point, Mr. Magashule was widely seen as a political kingmaker in the ANC and was a staunch ally of former President Jacob Zuma, who Mr. Ramaphosa replaced in 2018 following numerous corruption allegations, all of which Mr. Zuma denies. Thank you for listening to us here on Explorer Online Radio, the home of reliable and authentic news. Have a blessed evening.